Remastered from the ground up, Shadow of the Colossus is an epic quest to travel the lands and hunt down 16 unique and often giant colossi. It's your traditional hero's tale, with one person going against all the odds, embarking on a huge journey into the unknown, to eventually face something bigger and stronger than him, and yet face it bravely and overcome it. It's David and Goliath or St. George and the Dragon all over again, a story that we're all familiar with. But there is a difference here, and you always get this feeling that something's not quite right. To find your target, you have to hold your sword up to the sky, which reflects a beam of light into the direction of the next colossi that you've got to kill. And then you're off with your trusty horse Argo across fields and deserts to track them down, often finding them in some cave or ancient structure. When you reach them, you've got to kill them, and it's as simple as that. No dungeons or side quests, it's 16 boss fights and all of them are awesome. As I said, some of these things are huge, so it's all about finding weak spots and then working out how to get to them. Each one's like a puzzle. You've got to figure out how to trick them or how to wound them so they expose any vulnerable points. It's often about climbing these things, clinging onto any fur or any bony parts of their armour until you reach the right spot, usually on the top of their head. They'll be trying to shake you off, but a few good stabs into the right place and eventually you'll come out on top. It's this awesome blend of puzzle solving, platforming, action, making each enemy a clever and exciting challenge. Some moments here really make you... oh, this game's so good. You play as Wander, a young man who's made a deal with some kind of spirit in which if he kills all of the colossi, a young woman will be brought back to life. Who this woman is, how she got hurt, and what relationship you have together is left unclear. I love that it keeps an air of mystery to things, not feeling the need to ram an entire backstory down your throat. But more importantly, it's never actually obvious if your quest is a noble one or not. After all, usually trying to bring people back from the dead is always a bit shady. Are you making a deal with a god here, or the devil? Wander is so determined to bring her back that he's willing to do anything at all, even become an assassin for some kind of black spirit, crossing off all their targets one at a time. We never really find out what these colossi are. Are they good? Are they bad? Perhaps they're just these ancient creatures that protect the lands. It adds a bit of doubt in the player's mind when killing these things. Something just doesn't quite feel right, especially seeing as how you're always knocked unconscious immediately after beating one. That doesn't seem right. It kind of takes away any sense of satisfaction you get, because normally in a game, getting knocked out means you've done something wrong. You then are awoken back at the main temple, ready to receive your next target. The real star of the show here is actually the camera. This is one of the best cameras I've ever seen in a game. It's got a few issues when you're in the water, but otherwise it does this superb job of really giving you a sense of scale. The scenery is beautiful, but often there's not a lot going on in it, other than the occasional ruins or lizard running around. This could lead to long journeys becoming kind of tedious, but instead the way that the camera pulls back, circles around and gives you just these truly beautiful shots is really something to admire. There's a great photo mode to help you capture some of these moments. And here we go, some of my pictures. Fights are made tense by the fact that Wander only has a limited time that he can grip on for. You've got to plan your climbs because if you get caught short and lose your grip, you fall to the ground, meaning that you've got to start the whole process over again. It creates this dilemma of whether you should go for a few more strikes, hoping to finish the fight off, or play it safe, climb back down to a safer level, and give your hands a rest for a few seconds. The music is outstanding, made even more special by the long periods of eerie silence while traversing the plains. But when the fight begins, the music is great with some really memorable songs. I can't believe I just tried singing in a review. This was the first time I'd ever played Shadow of the Colossus, so I'm glad to have finally got round to what some people consider one of the best games of all time. It took me around 6.5 hours to complete, so it's not the longest game in the world, but it is hugely replayable with multiple difficulties and time trials to complete that have you beating all of the different colossi within a certain time limit to unlock new equipment. The world here is memorable. On the surface it's simple, but it's an unforgettable adventure full of fantasy and great moments of video game history. It's clever in the way that it really connects you to this world without the need for excessive dialogue, backstory or cutscenes. It does things in a more subtle way, letting you build your own unique experiences with it. And that's why it's such a great game. It wouldn't work as a book or movie, it needs to be played to be enjoyed. Until next time, thanks for watching.